My name is Howard, and I'm a Strat-aholic. Strat football's my poison. Cards and dice, head to head. Mano a mano, as my Latin Strat-playing friends might say. I got hooked as a kid. Early 80s, mid 80s, somewhere in there. Tampa Bay and Seattle were still the new teams. ESPN was barely off the ground. And Michael Jackson was still black. 3 friends of mine, we'll call them Raj, Eric, and the Eder, mostly because that's their real names, started playing in junior high and continued through high school. That's my girlfriend Jen there in the middle. She didn't play, but she did know how to utilize her tight end. I loved to send every linebacker and his mother at the quarterback. Eric was conservative, a real dink and dunker. Raj liked to throw it long. The gods of Strat reward the unafraid, he'd say. Then he'd roll a 7 on my card. Eder never quite got the hang of it. Needless to say, we didn't stay friends with him after high school. The guys we hoped to get in the early rounds of those drafts are still the immortals for me. Sweetness and that supreme 46 defense. Montana, Rice, Tyler, and Craig. Marino and the Marks brothers, Fouts and Air Coryell. LT, the prototypical 12-star 6. The New York Sack Exchange. These were our Strat heroes. Snow days were the best. No school meant an all-day Stratathon in a warm living room with perfect freezing football weather outside the window. I'd trudge to Eric's in the snow, or we'd play at Raj's, where for some reason the drinking glasses always smelled like maple syrup. At my house, we'd play on the floor, devour homemade cookies, and wash them down with Minute Maid fruit punch. Thanks, Mom. Then we graduated and went our separate ways. We'd get together to play once in a while on breaks from college, but after that, we kind of faded from each other's lives. Until a few years ago, when the 3 of us reconnected and started a new tradition. Once or twice a year, we get together for an all-day Strat Fest. We each draft 2 teams and then 2 players from a given season, and each of us plays the other 2 in a round robin. We look forward to it all year long, and now during the football season, we speculate about what the next card set might hold. You know how it is. Once Strat is in your blood, you can never look at football the same way again. Barry Sanders cuts back and breaks one. End run, guess wrong. 2 on Barry's card, long game. Ray Rice stuffed at the goal line. Line buck, 2 men there. A Big Ben screen pass breaks for a huge gain. Flat right, nobody there, 23 yards on 10. And it's not just when you watch football games. After Strat, you never look at life quite the same way again. When I met a girl and found out she had a grandfather and brother named Hal, I knew I'd marry her. I mean, Hal Richmond feels like an uncle to me, even though I've never met the guy. Although I guess you can't have everything. My wife did give me a strange look the other day when I told her we had to change our son's diaper because he had rolled a D-die. I imagine unless you play Strat football, you just don't quite get it. Is it like fantasy football, people ask me? A little, I tell them, but throw in a sprinkle of chess and a pinch of poker, and then you might start to understand. That's typically when they just look at me funny and walk away. Well, we're in our 40s now, and like it or not, a good part of our lives are in the rearview mirror rather than the road ahead. We don't see each other every day in the hallways between classes like we used to. Eric's a lawyer in New York, Raj is a doctor in Philadelphia, and I'm still trying to define exactly what it is I do. I don't know. But I do know this. Without Strat football, the 3 of us wouldn't be nearly as close as we've become. Sure, it's different now. When we get together for Strat, our expanding midsections compel us to eat carrots and hummus instead of cookies and fruit punch. And we move the clock 45 seconds after each play rather than 30 because we have to get home to our wives and kids. But when the game's tied late in the 4th quarter and I move my marker to long pass, tell Raj I've picked my play, and grab my drink while he stares me down and decides which receiver to double cover, I can still smell that maple syrup on the glass. And when I try to guess whether Eric's going to throw his inevitable flat pass to the left, right, or go crazy, the look-in zone, even if it's July, I can still see that snow falling behind him outside his parents' living room window. And that feeling of leaving everything in the real world behind and having nothing on your mind but the head-to-head competition, the cards, the dice, completely absorbed in the game just for those few hours, that feeling, like the talking heads said back when we were kids, is the same as it ever was. Man, I can't wait to teach my son how to play. He's named after his Uncle Hal, who he never met.
How did I get here?